Hello to all of you. I'm Michael Johnson, dear friend of Bronc and Sheila's. I would give anything to be with you. And she asked me to say something, and I could talk all day like all of you because we love Bronc so. But I have two stories I want to tell you. One is those things she might have read that I've done, you would assume that I did them. And I can tell you that the only reason those things happened was because of Bronc Fanning. He gave me my first writing job 20 plus years ago, and I just can't tell you how excited for his magazine, and I can't tell you how excited I was because I had to ask 50 people if they would carry my column, and they all said no, and I won't tell you how forcefully they said no. And Bronc was the first person, number 51, that ever said yes, that he would. And I was so excited I could hardly talk. And I said, do you have a cap, a limit on uh, the words in the column? And he said, well, if I ask a man to come over and help me catch a cow, I wouldn't tell him he could only use half the pasture. It's my magazine, and I can put as many words in it as I want to. So he never edited any of my columns or asked me to shorten them, and I always thought that was the kindest thing. The other one was, and I have so many of these, I could keep you up all night, and you could me too, which is another reason we loved him so. But we were in Tunica, and we had a party out in the parking lot, and everybody left, and we ran out of beer. Well, that was a good thing, except Bronc and I were not ready to stop. And he said, we got to go get more beer. And I said, well, we can't. The stores are closed. He said, well, we're not going to buy it. I said, are we going to bum it off somebody? He said, no, we don't accept charity. We're going to win it. So we get on his horse bareback, both of us, which should tell you all you need to know. And we began to ride through the parking lot, and we come to a very large party, and of course everybody knows Bronc, and he said, we need beer, and I said, well, we have some, and he said, no, we don't accept charity, we're going to win it. Well, you know, that interests every team roper there, male and female, and they said, well, what contest are we going to do? And he said, well, you guys pick your champion, and I'll rope for our side, and we'll have a dummy roping contest. Oh, they thought that was great. And if we won, we get a six-pack of beer, and if they won, I don't know what they got, but we were lying. We didn't have anything to give them. And they selected their champion, and Bronc was ours. And this nice-looking man, about 45, gets up with his rope and goes behind the roping dummy. And he said, which one of us is going to go first? And Bronc said, wait a minute, I didn't say where we were going to rope the dummy from. And they were all very puzzled by that because, you know, off to the side behind. Bronc said, no, not this time. And he points like this at the top of a horse trailer. And someone said, are you going to have the guy rope from 10 feet in the air? And Bronc said, well, actually, it's about 15 or 16 if you're standing up on top of this. So their champion says, we will give you a six-pack of beer just to see that. Okay, our big trouble was getting Bronc up on top of the trailer, but we managed to do that. And he sort of builds a loop, and the next thing you know, you hear this kind of electrical snap, and the rope is securely around the horns of that dummy down there on the ground. And everybody was just stunned. Nobody said anything for like 10 seconds. And all of a sudden, the crowd just burst into applause. And we had a very nice presentation of the six-pack to us. And again, a big round of applause. And Bronc and I got on his horse bareback, and I don't remember much about the rest of the evening, but that's one of my favorite Bronc Fanning stories. And just so much love for him and all of you. And I wish you well. And I want to tell you that we all know we'll see him again, and won't that be a fine day? Thank you for listening.